and welcome to the world's most famous podcast. I'm your hostess, Jacqueline Maddison. Today we have a guest who is literally redefining what it means to be a star. Seth Edeen, the undisputed king of ReelShort, the vertical streaming phenomenon that's been called the TikTok for series, now boasts over 50 million active monthly users worldwide. Seth is the leading man behind some of the platform's biggest films that have each exploded past 300 million views, including smash hits like Breaking the Ice and Found a Homeless Billionaire Husband for Christmas. In total, he's starred in more than 30 vertical films, with even more already in production, and his face has become the flagship of this billion-view empire. What makes Seth so special is his rare superpower, the ability to make millions of Gen Z hearts race, cry, and binge 100 episodes in one sitting, all on a phone screen held in one hand. And now that magnetic smartphone native energy is catapulting him straight into traditional Hollywood films, television, and high fashion runways. Today, Seth pulls back the curtain on exactly how he does it, the secret acting techniques he uses, lightning fast emotional beats, and why vertical storytelling is quietly becoming the most powerful star launchpad on the planet. Let's welcome Seth to the show. Seth, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you with us.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, wonderful. So tell us, what first inspired you to pursue acting?
You know, so I was an athlete like my whole life. That was like my big thing was sports. And then once my athletic career came to an end, I was kind of searching for the next thing to kind of fill that void. And I went to college and I graduated and I worked as I was like a civil engineer. I was doing that. I'm like, yeah, that's not really for me. I moved out to California and I signed to a modeling agency and I was doing that. That also didn't really fill that void. But everyone had always told me, like, you should get into acting class and try acting. I was like, okay. So I finally hopped into acting class and was going hard at it for like 3 months. And I was like, oh, this is a craft, sort of like, I was football, so it's like sort of like sports where you're gotta always be practicing on it. And it's something that's never fully mastered, something you can always
Yeah.
be working on. So I was in acting class for like 3 months, and then my roommate comes to me, he's like, dude, I just got hit up to do this show. They're looking for someone to play the lead that looks exactly like you. They want like a Edward Cullen look guy. It's like Twilight meets 50 Shades of Grey. And he showed me like a few clips on TikTok. I was like, what the hell is this? But
Wow. Hmm.
I was like, all right, whatever. Like, let's give it a shot. It's an opportunity to get paid to act, so let's give it a shot. And I did
Right.
it, and then it came out like a month or two later. And once it came out, I just started consistently getting offers like regularly to do them. And
Yeah.
here we are, a little over 2.5 years later. I've done 28, and it's like my full-time job now, and I love it. Acting has turned out to be very similar to like sports in the way that there's all like it's like you go to your shoot and you're like, oh, that's game day, and then you go to acting class and it's like that's practice, and then
Right.
I'm always reading books and watching movies. There's like all these things that I can always be doing to get better and get good at it, and I really enjoy it. And now that I've like kind of gotten in a groove with it, I understand just acting as a craft a lot better than I did at the start for sure. So it's fun. Very,
Yeah,
very
absolutely. It's
thankful.
more like mental and emotional work and training,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a different type. It's not the physical training anymore, but it's still training hard, but just in a completely different way, which I love that. So
Yeah, well, we'll touch on that. But for now, how do you prepare for your current roles that you're playing?
I just read the script, like, I don't know, I'll read it 5, 6, 7 times. And the more you just kind of read it, the more you kind of get a feel for it and you get a vision in your head. And then I just kind of spend my time, breaking down, going like scene by scene. Well, first I like break down kind of and honestly, a lot of my characters have the same vibe, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I think the platform kind of has a consistent feel and vibe to their shows. So makes
Yeah,
it
like
probably pretty easy for you.
yeah. I mean they because I've had a lot of my two biggest shows. I've basically played the same character, so they people
Right.
see me. So I don't get so each guy has a different type of like role, I guess that they do,
Hmm.
or that they kind of get like dialed in on. You know,
Hmm.
some guys are very good at doing the very seductive type of roles, like things like that. My
Right.
roles that where I found success is just being kind of like a sweet, goofy guy.
Romantic type. And
Yeah, like
yeah.
Ashton Kutcher type, like
Mm.
silly, easygoing type of guy. So,
Well,
um,
and as an actor, is that the type of genre you see yourself doing? Let's say fast forward 5, 10 years from now, where do you see yourself? Because I know you were in sports in the past. What about action films, or do you want to stick with the rom-com type, romance type genre? Where do you see yourself going?
I mean, I think yeah, like right now, this is like perfect for me because I'm so new to acting. So I'm like, okay, and this character is just very similar to just how I am in real life. So
Hmm.
now that I've like really got my grips on this character, I'm like, okay, like now I know how to do that. As I progress forward, I would like to, do more action films, more. I love doing the romantic, shows, but it would be cool to play, like a tough guy, like
Right.
and like a I don't know, like a Tom Hardy like tough guy role in like a mob movie or mafia movie or something like that,
Hmm.
or in like a western, like a cowboy kind of, um, or like a Billy Bob Thornton in Landman or something, just like a boss, like yeah.
Well, what's amazing about the acting craft is that it is limitless. Like you can explore so many different directions and different characters you can play. So, like you said, you never really master it. You're always growing and changing and exploring new parts of yourself and how to create these characters. It's just incredible.
Yeah, no, and I've learned so much about myself
Mm.
during this journey as well because like playing sports is like the complete opposite. Like you cannot have any emotion like overtake you at all. Like you have to stay
Right.
calm. Doesn't matter if someone on the other team's, talking crap or, spitting on it. Like people are dirty in sports and you can't let it get to your head.
Hmm.
Versus acting is the complete opposite. You have to be the most sensitive, like side of yourself. And for someone like me who's never been that my entire life, it's been a journey and a challenge to let that sensitive side of myself, let my guard down, I guess, and let,
Yeah.
different types of things affect me and all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a Christian, and the Bible says that God laughs at man's plans, but ultimately, the destiny we do end up walking is what's best for us and what is for our highest and best growth. You know, like you probably never in a million years dreamed you would be delving into these emotional aspects of your being and let alone displaying them on camera. But here you are, and you're becoming a better man because of it, and you're growing and doing things that you never imagined. And how beautiful is that, though, right?
Oh, it's amazing. So I'm very grateful for that. Very grateful.
Absolutely. So, how do you stay motivated during intense shoots or long days on set?
Man, it's tough sometimes. I always am very quick to remind myself how lucky I am to be able to do what I do because I I grew up working, very, like blue collar type jobs. I was like,
Right.
I remember I used to cut like trees down all day. Like we'd go around and we'd just be trimming trees all day. Or even my career before I moved to LA, I worked in construction. I was a project engineer for a construction company and I was working 12, 15 hours a day in the heat in Arkansas and like and it's just not the most glorious life and it was really hard.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm on set and I'm like, tired or like, oh man, like I just want to go home. Like I think back to those moments growing up and reminds me how lucky and grateful I am to be able to do what I am now. And I do have to remind myself like, this is freaking awesome. Like, not many people get to make a living full time as an actor,
Yeah.
and the conditions aren't always the best, but I've gotten better, taking the frustration or emotion or whatever and channeling that just back into the project, into the work, and just redistributing that emotional type of energy into whatever area I need to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the most effective way to do that. So I think though the humble beginnings is a beautiful thing. I've always believed that, the more humble we are, the greater the heights God will take us to. And I think it's so important not to forget our humble beginnings, like you say that you're not, and it's so important. That's kind of what is going to keep you grounded as your career continues to grow, and let's say you become more and more famous and well known, because I think there's going to be temptation, so to speak, to become more prideful and kind of change who you are, the heart of who you are and where you come from, And I think if we always remember our humble beginnings, we won't ever let that overcome us, and we kind of stay true to who we are no matter how successful we become.
Yeah, and I attribute that to not only like the way I was raised. My mom and dad did a great job of raising me. They're the best parents ever. But just like, in football in particular, like it's a team sport, so the culture of football is like you can never get too high. You always have to, take the highs with the lows and never get too high, never get too low. So I feel I do a pretty good job of kind of keeping a chip on my shoulder, for lack of a better term, that
Right.
yeah, things might be going good, but there's always more I want to do, and I can always be better at, be better at what I'm doing. Um, so yeah, I definitely will not won't let it get to my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, gotta
So,
stay humble.
yeah, we do, of course. Well, again, being a Christian in the Bible, God says he resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. So I think as we stay more humble, more opportunities will come our way because it can be
Yeah.
taken away from us like that.
And another thing that is like I've had success on, these I was fortunate enough to win an award at a vertical shorts like film festival.
Yeah.
Like my
Congrats.
first year of doing it. Thank you. It was for my role in Breaking the Ice. And it was so weird because I'm like, it's not like there's so many things that go into a project. It's not just me. Like even as like the best
Right.
actor, I can only be the best actor if I'm working with other great actors. Like my co-star on that show, Nicole,
Mhm.
like I've done a lot of shows with her. Anyone who's seen me or knows about me knows that Seth and Nicole were like the most iconic, co-star couple in verticals.
Mhm.
And her in particular just like brings the best out of me. And so it's people like that that, are also respond like it's not just me, it's a whole team. It's her, the director, all the other people, everyone involved. Like it's not just me, it's like a group effort.
It's
So
so true. It's still a collaboration. It's still a team effort. Maybe it's not a game, but it's a different team environment, but for sure.
hmm
So, how important is discipline in your daily routine, and how have you mastered that or incorporated it more so as you've grown and have more and more on your to-do list?
discipline's like the most important thing. I'll never
Yeah.
forget. My football coach in college used to, he would always be honest about, just doing all these little things every single day. It's like 15 minutes of, stretching every day, 15 minutes of these little technique things. And he would always say consistency breeds greatness. So it's not like doing a big thing, like once a week. It's doing little things daily, little daily, snacks. And eventually that compounds over time. So that really like has been like was ingrained in my head, and I've taken that to my acting now. So, every day I'm reading, every day I have this acting or rehearsing, I guess, technique where like, I just take a script and I will look at it, and this will be a first read, and I'll read the line, I'll read it in my head, and then I'll get up. and then I'll look up and pretend like I'm talking to someone, or if someone's there, and read it to them, and then just kind of get good at, picking up the idea and then going and seeing what my initial like gut reaction, first take of it might be. So it's just doing little things like that, like all the time. And then, going to the gym, making sure I keep my body nice and healthy, because a healthy body, a healthy mind, healthy spirit, gives me a clear head to be very present and stuff when I'm, doing my acting work.
Body is our temple. We have to honor it.
Hmm.
But yeah, for sure. Our discipline, I say your doing becomes your being, so you've got to be consistent in your habits and create the habits that are going to allow you to become the man or woman that you want to be.
Hmm.
For a lot of people, it's easy to be lazy, but lazy
Yeah.
doesn't get you anywhere.
And it's really easy to like overlook like just, reading for 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes a day or whatever it might be. It's really easy to be like, it's only like 5 minutes. I'll just like do it tomorrow, whatever. And
Right.
just to like not do it. But it's so easy just to do these little things. And then over time, like you see it pay dividends over time.
Yeah, you become a better actor.
Yeah, just like once a week sitting down and reading for like 4 hours, and then that's it, versus like continually every day, like always working that muscle.
Right, exactly. I love that. I love that analogy. It's just like building a muscle, the same thing.
Hmm.
So, how do you approach emotional scenes?
Those those are tricky, and then I've found that my approach to them is constantly kind of changing, because what may have worked for me a year ago may not work for me now, and what works for me now may not work for me, in 2 months. So
Mm.
it's always really important to always be checking in with yourself, or like whatever is going on in your life at that moment. What kind of things are, making you trigger or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I do like to do, and I've done this ever since I started, this will probably be something I always kind of do,
Mm-hmm.
is I'll put my headphones in and I'll read through the scene, or I'll read through the scene and get a vibe of it. And then I build an image or a picture in my head of like what it's going to look like. And then I think of like a movie score or something of like whatever type, like dramatic music or fun music or whatever it might be. And I'll read through it with that music playing in my ears. And then I envision it like on the big screen, like what it's going to look like, what it's going to sound like. So, that's a simple, easy thing that I'll probably always do,
Yeah.
because it's easy to do. But then for the really emotional stuff, like that's where it's always kind of changing. But
Yeah, I think every actor has their kind of key strategy for themselves. That seems to be yours. Super effective visualization, but plus the auditory stimulation as part of the visualization. An incredible way to just kind of really commit it to your memory, but also your being, so that when you're
hmm.
actually in the scene, you're like, oh, I've been here before. This I can do this. It's more
Yeah,
natural. It's more natural for you.
yeah, because you want to feel it throughout your entire being, not just like know it in your head, but you want to feel it, all the way from your head to your toes. So,
Oh, absolutely. That's what makes a scene believable, is the more present you are in every aspect of yourself. Um, and I think that really translates to viewers, because it's not superficial. It's not bad acting, if you know what I mean. It's um, it's just real.
yeah, just living truthfully, and this is what my acting teacher says. You want to live truthfully under imaginary circumstances.
Yeah,
And I've
exactly. I love that. That's perfect. So, how do you balance currently your work life and your personal life, if you even have a personal life with such a heavy work life?
Yeah, I'm still getting the hang of that. I'm someone who likes to be busy and stuff all the time, so I have a hard time turning work down when I get it, especially in an industry like this where you never know what's going to happen and nothing's ever guaranteed. What I might be, getting breaking in the offers right now, but you never know what could happen, 6 months from now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm always trying to find a way to balance that. And yeah, everyone's different. I do, and I Like I like having, maybe a weeker because how these projects work is, you shoot for 2 weeks straight and then you're done. So it's like pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I'll shoot for the 2 weeks and then I usually, if I can, I'll like to have, a week or two break in between. And a week or two break is like the right amount of time to kind of decompress from the last one and then start getting revved up for the next one.
Yeah.
And I like to go golf and I live in Venice Beach, so I just like, going outside and, I'll go jump in the ocean and do sorts of things like that to kind of, decompress and uh, those sorts of things.
Perfect. Yeah, well, it sounds like you're getting a hang of it. And yeah, absolutely. You do have to take advantage of the opportunities when the window of opportunity is open. So that's great. But something tells me you're just getting started.
Yeah, I hope so. I know for sure these because even when I first started doing these vertical, micro dramas, I was like, I don't know how long this is gonna last for. Like but I've been in it. I haven't been in it like I'd like to say I was in the first wave of people that have gotten into these, and to
Hmm.
see how far they've come from when I first started to where they are now, it's so crazy. Like,
I
it's
know.
so like the writing, everything's got, there's still like the shock factor, but the writing has gotten a lot better on a lot of them. Like, the writing on some of the early ones was like, what the hell? Now it's like the still, it's type of cheesiness, but it's written a lot better, and it's
Right.
just the quality of it all has gotten a lot better. So
Well, I think when the audience demand is there, the quality improvement demand is there as well. You have to. You have to start, pushing out better content because the audience is going to want it, you know? So I think that's so exciting. Now,
yeah,
what do you think makes your performance style unique? Or do you, as an actor, like in your own mind's eye, have a signature that is unique to you that you like to put on your characters? Maybe it could be a look, it could be a mannerism, anything like that.
um, so like some of these characters that are in these shows are very cold and unemotional. I'm always very empathetic to whatever's going on in the story, and I
Hmm.
truly like I'll watch my co-star get wine dumped on her, and I'm just like, what? Like, truthfully inside, I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
So I think that comes across as pretty authentic, from what it seems from the audience, is I'm pretty authentic and, wanting to, because the stories are very, I come in and save the day and save my co-star or whatever. And all the co-stars I work with, they're all the sweetest girls, like they're the best.
Hmm.
Um, so like I genuinely, I'm like, no, I want to come in and get you out of here. Like I truthfully, it's not even like acting. Like I truthfully,
Right.
when a scene comes, I'm like, come on, let's like get you out of here. Let's save you. Like I want to get you out of, whatever bad situation. They always have like bad families. I'm like, screw your family. Like I'll read some of these, when I'm reading some of these stories, I will actually get angry, like reading it. Cause I'm like,
Right.
God,
It's like moving you emotionally. That's good
yeah,
though. You want
this
it
girl's
to.
family's so bad. Like, why are they so cruel to her? Like, geez.
Yeah,
So,
right.
I think like my authenticity when it comes to, uh, my,
Oh, I love that. And I think
yeah,
that that's great. And maybe that's why audiences enjoy watching you because that authenticity is a likability factor.
yeah.
And you can't fake that.
Yeah. And also I'm a pretty goofy guy, so like in my characters there is like a level of kind of silliness or goofiness that comes out from
Hmm.
time to time, and I think people also enjoy that. So,
Yes, of course. People love to laugh and be made to smile. So if you can do that,
yeah.
then you're gonna win. So
Hmm.
Real Short has 50 million monthly viewers or users and still growing. Why do you think Gen Z is craving this kind of entertainment that traditional entertainment isn't giving them?
Well, I think it's just a good alternative to traditional. I think there'll always be a place for the traditional, and this is like its own sector or own, lane for or whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But like their attention, everyone's attention spans is, so short. Like I, especially recently, like I've gotten really into watching like these shows, and I
Yeah.
watch on not only Real Short, but I watch on other apps because, and that's how I know the quality's gotten so much better because I'm watching it like across the board.
Yeah.
But it's so easy. Like yesterday, I was when I landed in New York yesterday, and I had like 15 minutes from when we landed to getting off the plane. So I just went on my phone and I was like, let's just, or no, I didn't even start a new show. I just picked up on a show that I'd
Mm.
left off on that I was watching before I boarded the plane. So I watched, like 10 or 15 episodes before I boarded, and then I flew, and then I got off. I was just sitting there waiting. I'm like, all right, let's see, like, because I also like I have a lot of friends in this space, so I like watching them and seeing
Right. Yeah.
their different takes on the stories as well. Like I love what I learn so much from watching other people as well.
Definitely.
So I do enjoy. I have a personal connection to these stories as well. But I think, but it's yeah. So you can just hop on and hop off like very very easily
Yeah.
because the episodes are so short. So I
How
think
short are
that
they?
they can be anywhere from like a minute long. Sometimes on the longer side, like an episode might be like 2.5 minutes long. But
What? They're so
yeah.
short. No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. So no wonder some of these shows have like hundreds of episodes, right?
Yeah, so yeah, and it can range. But like a scene can go over the course of like, 4 or 5 episodes.
Right. Oh, got it. Oh, but I love
Yeah.
that because, but it's like just quick entertainment. Oh, let me just watch a scene or that's so fun.
Yeah.
So a
It's
lot of
like
production for a small episode, but I guess if you film it, you just break it up. It's pretty simple as a producer.
hmm yeah. But it is like most of the scenes are generally, like 3 or 4 pages long. So yeah, like a couple episodes is like one scene. So you can get in and out of a scene like super quick.
Bite-sized TV, baby. That's
Yeah.
so fun. You're segueing into traditional though now, aren't you? Or and into the fashion world. Tell us more about what you've got going on in terms of your career expansion.
Yeah, so because of so like I said, like I didn't grow up acting, like I'm still fairly new to acting and everything. Because of the success of my vertical shows, I've been able to get signed on with the management team where I've gotten opportunities to do audition for at least other feature films, TV shows, like whatever might be happening.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, I got cast in 2 different movies, which is really cool that I'm like finally making the jump
Yeah.
over to traditional film because I would like to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Do you
yeah,
think you'll stay with both, or do you think you'll make a full crossover and leave your real short, past behind you, or what do you want to do?
I don't think I'd ever leave it completely. Like I'm a
Yeah,
really loyal, sentimental person, so like
that's good.
I never want to like I'm never going to be too cool for school for the work because that's how I got my career started. So like ideally I'd like to be doing, and I've even talked about this with Real Short, hopefully it gets to the point where, I just come in and do like one Real Short a year, like maybe a Christmas show or whatever it might be because it's so easy to film. It's like, oh yeah, you come in for 2 weeks, you do a show,
Mhm.
and then you go off and, continue filming Paramount series or shoot a A24 film or whatever it might be.
Mhm.
But I would always like to stay involved just because I'm like part of the initial wave of people, in the space.
Yeah,
So
that's right. So there'll always kind of be a fan base for you there, and they'll always want you back or a little piece of you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Your presence there, at least.
yeah. And my shows in particular that I generally do are very, fun and cute and sort of thing. So it's fun
Right.
to shoot them as well.
Yeah,
So
right, exactly. Like, let's say you move into more tough guy, serious roles, it'll kind of be a nice breath of fresh air for you to do something lighthearted and keep that in your space.
Yes, exactly.
For sure. So how do you take care of your mental health, your spiritual self? Like, or do you pray? Do you meditate? What's that for you to balance, mind, body, soul, spirit?
So I mean, I'm big into working out. And growing up, working out was just one thing. It was just going to the gym and lifting and
Right.
bicep curls and doing all that, which
Yeah.
it's important to do that. But as I've gotten older and just learned more about all of the mind, body, spirit, all of that, I do like to take, especially on days. This is also one thing I definitely do on every day that I film. I'll wake up in the morning and I just do 5 minutes of breath work
Hmm.
and kind of meditate and visualization, because that's important because I want to, start the day on the right note.
Hmm.
I I love doing yoga, even though I'm not the most limber human being ever. Like
But you
I
try.
love,
That's good.
yeah. There's like a flow state though, like yoga is something where you find like you can find that flow state after, like 10, 15 minutes. You're just in that flow state of in the sequence of everything and really gets you, in touch with your body, really grounds you with your breath and like connecting everything and making you be present as
Or
well.
that
Because
Zen, they call it Zen when you kind of get, you're like, oh, yeah, I hear you.
yes, versus like when I still, lift weights and I'll go run, but when I'm doing that, I got my headphones in, I got, like Travis Scott blaring in my ears or whatever, getting me all hyped up.
Hmm.
But I like the getting into that Zen state, a couple times a week. And I think it's important on days that I film, one, that I, meditate, breath work, kind of become centered and present, but also just getting up and moving and getting the blood flowing and, stretching and feeling good and loose and free and everything. Like that's very important.
Yes, energy in motion stays in motion. And I think that's also a key to longevity. So make sure you stay active and for your whole life. It's very important.
Yes.
What about God? How has God played a hand in your life? Has there ever been something that happened where it was like a God wink and you're like, that's definitely like, that's God.
I'm very intuitive with things. So anytime, here's a great example. So about a month ago, I was booked to film a show in Texas, and the night before, I was a hockey player growing up too, and I still play pickup hockey, like once a week.
Hmm.
And I was driving to play hockey, and my car broke down. And my roommates came and they're like, "Oh, like, well, we'll take you to your game. Don't worry, like, we'll get you there." And I just felt like I'm like, no, this is like
Yeah.
God's way of saying, don't go play in the game tonight. Like, it could met like something could happen. So I'm very aware of
Mm.
signs that God's giving
Mm.
me to do something or to
Right.
not do something.
Hmm.
And I always like trust. I'm like, all right, like I really wanted to go play hockey that night, but I'm like, this is clearly a sign saying, no, don't go. It's not a good idea. So, and
It's
I
so true.
trust he's never wrong. So he's
Well,
never led me astray.
redirection is usually God's protection. And I say, faith in God is trust in God. And so when anything like that happens, let's say you're late and you forgot your keys, that could be literally a moment that is between life and death. You don't know. But I think when we walk in faith and trusting that, God is protecting us, then we can, no matter what happens, because the worst things that ever happened to me in my life ended up being the biggest blessings in disguise. So important to trust God. Now, question for you. As you move forward into your career, how will you deal with potential situations that might compromise some of your values? Let's say you're offered a role that is something you wouldn't do, or is there anything that's kind of taboo for you? How are you going to prepare yourself for those situations?
Yeah, that's a tricky question. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm pretty firm on this, and I don't think I would ever take a role that would involve me um, taking advantage of someone
Right.
or anything like that. I
Yeah.
pretty, I'm pretty hard on not on my stance on those types of roles and things.
Right.
I don't. one, I'm just not comfortable doing that. Like, there's acting thing. Some things come more naturally to me and are easier to get than others. That's just something like I don't want to go there. I've never tried to go there. I don't want to go there because all that
Right.
just makes me feel uncomfortable. So,
Yeah.
someone who would ever take advantage of a man or a woman, either way, I would never want to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and just like, yeah, just playing like an abusive person, like
Right. That's
that's
good.
just,
That's
yeah,
good because again, I think our doing becomes our being, even as
yeah,
an actor, actress. But I think it's important that to consider that and be prepared for potential temptations to compromise your values because those can compromise your character, and
yeah,
it's nothing. No, nothing's ever worth that.
yeah, there's just some things I don't want to promote.
Right.
There's like a 5% of things list of things that I wouldn't do. I don't know. I
Uh
guess it would
huh.
have to go by a situation by situation.
Of
So,
course. Well, as the opportunities present themselves, you're gonna be faced with many decisions. So
yeah.
just keep that in mind. But
Hmm.
for me, again, as a Christian, I always pray and I ask God for guidance and wisdom, and I ask Him to align me with His will for me. And He always gives me the clarity. He'll give me a dream. He'll give me something and kind of give me the enlightenment I need to know, oh, no, that's not an opportunity I want to take or a relationship I want to get into, whether in business or personal, right? So I think
Hmm.
for me, having that relationship with God is so important because it literally could save my life and my career and things like that. Super important. So
Yeah,
what?
no, he never leads you wrong. In my experience, he's never led me wrong. So I've
That's
always
exactly
trusted
right.
everything. So
So what project are you most proud of?
I would say probably breaking the ice. I'm very proud of that one. I would say because I was a hockey player growing up, and that one was a hockey player role. And then also that was where I met Nicole, who's been my favorite co-star that I've worked with. And I'm so thankful for her because she's been very instrumental in my career as well. So I would say that one was one that I loved. I'm very proud of it. Nicole and I actually did another show. It didn't get as popular as any of the other ones, but it's called Wings of Fire, and it was like a Game of Thrones themed like period piece.
Yeah.
Um, and we put a lot of work into that. Like we flew to Boston. Like there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that project, and I'm very
Yeah.
proud of it. That was also a project that Real Short had a premiere for it. So they rented
Oh,
out a movie theater, and
very
we filled
cool.
the movie theater, and everyone came and watched it, and
Pretty
that
big
was super
production,
cool.
that is.
Yeah.
So since we have a minute left, what do you want to make sure listeners and watchers know about you? What's something important before we go that you want to share or make known about you as an actor?
I put my all into my work, and I live everything very truthfully. So. I'm not just playing the good guy in the show, but really, like in life, I want to see, good things happen, and I want to see good people get out of bad situations, and all of that stuff.
Oh,
So
well, that's beautiful. And we love you for it. So we are so excited to see what the future has in store for you and the next opportunities God has lined up for you. We wish you all the best and congratulations on your current success.
awesome. Thank you.